I'm back. Can you guys hear me? Joseph Davis, how's it going, buddy? Okay, second time is a charm. There we go. Get rid of that. How you guys doing? So wanted to jump in for a little live feed. How'd your week make out? I had a great week. Pretty cold out, but it's supposed to warm up this week, which helps with saw work. Sandra Kelch, Wildcat, Tommy Bolin, Jason Callan, sending some internets to Canada. That dishy that we have, it's the Starlink. It's been working great, but it's been cold, and it says right on it, I think it only works to -30. Well, it's been -40 here for weeks. So, hey, Chippy, snow in 40 minutes. Yeah, it's good winter to be a snowman, hey, Chippy. I did several years of snow clearing. Dave Schultz, Mama Taz. Yeah, it's fairly warm in here. I just topped up the fire. It was going out, and I thought I'd run out here and do a little live feed, and was working on. I was in the mood today, so I pulled the 590 out. Sorry, you guys probably can't even see it there. Pulled out the CS 590, and I got a plan. Move that over there. Yeah, that 590, it's a different kind of saw. I use my regular moves, and we're going to fix it. I have a plan now, and I shot a video today outlining what I'm going to do. I pulled the top end off. 30 degrees here. That's Australia, I believe. Yeah. It's funny, in the summer when I'm yakking with Bill Block, it's cold there and it's hot here. Well, now he gets to laugh at me. He's got 30 degrees. Dennis Jensen, how's it going, buddy? Stephen Letts Performance. Hey, Stevie, how's it going? Yeah, it's a little chilly. Also, I think it's time to start going on this. I think this power saw is going to be an animal when it's done. I've been studying it, checking all my timing numbers, squish, blow down. I hope the piston's a little bit longer than the XL76s. I'd like to do a little bit of machining to this build. I'm curious. I just want to know is how high can we turn this thing up without it scattering parts? The build parameter on this is make it rip. So it's going to be fun. It'll be hopefully, and you never know, right? It's going to be the XL76 plus 20 cc's. Should be a strong saw. I'm hoping. I can't wait. I've been drawing up pipes for this thing. I've been doing lots of welding lately, and I think I have two designs I think I'm going to try with this saw. One is something we've been thinking about for a while, and the other one's just going to be a standard pipe. I'll be interested to see. Just catching up here. Hey, Donnie Walker, weren't you just on, who's that guy? Fucking Billy Ray Smith's live feed? Good times. I like that, Donnie Walker. Hey, Donnie, you ever port one of these, buddy? 922 Super. I'm going to try and make it go fast. I wonder, friends, porting home lights was something I just kind of fell into. My dad always ran a home light. Home lights are super common around here, and I'll never forget that. It was one of those ideas you have when you're bored in the shop, I wonder what this would do ported, or if it'll last ported. And, all I could say is if you got a crazy idea, try it. That's the only way you're going to know. And Nick Pixel, how's it going, buddy? Tasman? I'm buffering here, friends. Let's see. Yeah, once the internet gets going, it's usually okay. But it like I said, it's a little bit cold, so we'll just let that catch up. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is put a big pipe, kind of curve it down and around, and then I have an idea for a second pipe. I'll show you guys when I start welding that up, but I think this thing's gonna rip, like absolutely rip. I hope. My send me an email, Markushi. Send me an email, buddy, and thank you. Yeah, you know, it would be cool. It would be cool to be able to make a stack filter on this. I won't do it to this saw. Bucking likes a low back, but one thing I don't like about these is the air filtration. Even a good running saw with a good filter that's sharp just sucks in all that fines into here. They all do it, and I've never met a home light that doesn't do that. Even this one's got all kinds of fines. I put a 266 filter on the first home light I built. The one, I think that's the one we blew up, and that worked really well. And it was a low back. I had to modify the handle a bit. I might do that again. Butch Hill, hey from PA. Butch, thanks for coming, buddy. Can you look at the Canadian I sent bucking? I'm not sure what you mean by that, buddy. The Canadian I sent bucking. Was that a saw? It's probably a saw, eh? Have I got any plans for the old partner yet? This one? Here, let's talk about this. It's got to be this one because that's the only partner I have. Here, let's, in real time, let's talk about the partner. So let me grab a couple things here. Is this it? There we go. Okay. I have one of those 923, so I'm very interested. But the handle is badly broke. Yeah, that's too bad. Just keep your eyes peeled for a junk saw. Okay, so here's my plan with this. So let me. Now, most of these Swedish saws have a 12 millimeter wrist pin. Okay, this is a Husqvarna piston with a pop-up 266. I'm gonna try and graft this and make it fit in this saw, and that way we can do a bunch of machine work to it. And this piston will be lighter than the one in this saw. I'm thinking we can add some serious go fast moves to this saw with a different piston. And this pipe definitely needs some help. I would like to pipe this saw before we do any porting to it of any kind. This thing's really stifled. So I think, and I mean, I don't know, I've never worked on one of these, but I think we can pipe this saw and make it wake up. So there you guys go. That's a 268 highway piston with a pop-up single ring. And I think, and again, I never know, right? Most of the stuff I do on this channel, friends, I've never done before. I just do it out of fun, right? What can we do with this and this? And I like showing you guys what I'm doing. That's the fun of it, right? And so there you guys go. That's kind of the plan with that. you know, do some machining. Maybe this thing's a little low on compression. Like it's you know, it's nothing to write home about. So I'll just put this over here for now. So it's gonna need a rebuild. Well, I'm thinking we should rebuild it with a new piston, do a little machine work, some porting, and maybe put a pipe ski on it. Just catching up. Anybody have any questions? Anything you're working on? I'm always here. Yeah, another saw that I really want to get into is that 181 I pulled apart. That thing's in fairly rough shape. I want to do evil things to that and see how much power we can get out of it. Thinking piped and do some flow tricks. I've never trenched cases on a video. I'd like to do that for you guys. And just do, you know, some of the stuff that I know from dirt bikes and that, but that we haven't done on the channel. So the purpose of that saw is just going to be to make it silly. There, I'm just looking. Got a Makita DCS 6421. Do you have any suggestions? Curtis Baker, no, sorry, buddy. 6421. I think Harvey did a Makita 6400 on his channel. You might want to go dig around on the Iron Horses channel and see. I know he did one of those. That's a 60cc Dolkita. I don't know if it's the same saw, but maybe. Working on my truck. She broke. Stop on over. Are you live, Nick? Let me check here. Is Nick live? Friends, I sure like that Nick Pixel. He brings tech in a way that my brain can understand. I'm not a very techie guy. I'm a wrench. I love that Nick Pixel's videos. He's such a good fella. 262. I love a 262. I had mine on my channel once, I think. I had an early 262, the one with the good carb and all that. I would say those run right with a good 266. They're lighter. Take a small mount bar. Mine, I ended up sending it to a buddy. He'd been looking for one for, 20 some odd years. Never had one. So I just we did a swap for something. I'll get another 262 one day. Here you go. You think Kenzie built one too? Yeah, maybe go check out Kenzie, Bayou Country Power Saws. Hi, Andrew. Thanks for coming, buddy. Everything is well. It's going to warm up this week, which means no more boosting vehicles. And, that's what you do here, friends. You plug all your vehicles in and you hope one runs, and then you start boosting other vehicles with the one that's running. Been doing that for weeks. Johnny Holmgren, some coffee money. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate your guys' support of this channel. Buckin just touched on it tonight on his live feed about how when he started YouTubing, he had no idea that, this was a business. Me either, friends. I had no idea how any of this worked. I just knew that I was having fun working on power saws in my shop. And I felt like maybe somehow, some way I could help other folks out by making videos and showing them what I know. And here we are. So, Johnny, thank you. Think about picking up a 462 still from my buddy. Redbeard Sauce. I've never run a 462. I'm sure they're good. I hear they're very fast, like they're high RPM. Do you have any plans to port your 576? I have a non-auto-tune version. Yeah, whenever I get around to it. Hello, Mrs. Tinman. I haven't ported my 576 because that thing flat out cuts. I've never been displeased with the power of that saw. I showed on the last live feed, I have a top end for that saw sitting here that we could port at any time. For me, friends, It's more about, I don't build a lot of saws for me anymore. Pretty much everything I do is for the channel. Um, I just like making content. We will do a 576 one day. I have, how many do I have here? Two. I'm looking at mine. I have my auto tune one. I'd like to port it though. I think I would do like a, maybe I'll ask Donnie Walker. I would like to just pump it up just a little bit more and make a good work saw out of it without turning it up too hot. Those plastic bearings scare me a little. I've had some bad experiences with those plastic bearing saws. Just catching up here, friends. Got a 572 XPG with the heated handles for Christmas. Oh yeah, that's 572 XPG is probably the only new saw that I kind of want one, friends. I don't typically run new saws, but I would like another heated handle saw. That's what I run in winter. Yeah, who knows what the future will bring. Maybe I'll have to get Donnie Walker to build me one. I would love a Walkerized power saw. It's my dream to collect saws from other porters and run them on the channel and enjoy them. I'm a fan of other builders. You guys know what I mean? I'm a saw guy. I'm a huge fan of Donnie Walker. He's a good fella. Thanks for the video of cleaning the cylinders. Help me save my 261. Right on. Sometimes I'm just catching up. Sometimes I skip past the basics, and the other night I was like, I gotta clean the cylinder. Why not film it? And often I forget. We as saw builders forget. We overlook the basic stuff, but often it's the basic stuff that people want to see. So I'm glad that I did that cylinder cleaning video, because really, a lot of times you don't need a new cylinder. You need some sandpaper and, Can I touch on a piped muffler versus a can? Do you mean, Kendall Reese, do you mean a pipe versus a modded muffler? If that's what you mean, here, comment again, Kendall. I'll be looking for your comment. What's the next saw I'm going to buy? I don't know. Friends, I have so many saws. I don't know, friends. Like I said, I'd be interested in trying out a 572 full wrap with heated handles. Yes, piped versus modified can. Okay. Yeah, friends, 572 is probably... I know you guys enjoyed that. I got a lot of good feedback. Okay, friends, these pipes flat out work. They make power. Okay, they're not tuned. For instance, so let me grab it here. Let's see if we got enough room on the bench. Okay, friends. Here is a pipe. This is a modded muffler, okay? This one is fish gilled. This is basically a wide open muffler. You guys that have been around know the nasty 630 Super that I run. I'd like to put one of these on here. These pipes pull the air out of the exhaust port, is my experience, but they don't make the saw go lean. They actually make the saw go rich, and that's one thing I've noticed for you folks that are here. These pipes, they definitely, I don't know, friends, try and build one and try it. I was very open-minded, or very open to this possibility that these work. Now that I'm building them, they do work. I don't know why, but fucking, oh, you're funny. Friends, these work. They pull more air out without making the saw go lean. I find these make the saw go rich, and you can actually squeak that high jet a little bit, and it will actually this. It's hard to explain, friends. Buckin was kind of explaining it to me, and I didn't get it until I built one. These pipes work. There's all, and that's not my design. That's an Iron Horse design, friends. But and you know what they do also? They make the saw start nice. Okay, here, cold start. They make the saw start nice, and they just run. So that's the deal. They create, I believe they create an environment where those transfers can really fill the combustion chamber, and without letting it all out the pipe, so that you still get that scavenging. You can still get it so that it still comes back, and it actually makes the saw rich. Every pipe that I've made that works, the saw ends up going a little bit rich. So, good question. Pipes just flat out work. There is no one design that works. I've seen all different kinds of pipes. They work. Hey, Buckin, when are you going to do some cutting again? Beautiful saw, buddy. Stevie Thoreau, beautiful build. Nice saw, buddy. Great job. Thank you, Stevie. Friends, I started building 266s, 61s, etc. I've been doing those. That's what I could find. They were 30, 40, 50 bucks, and I was just buying them up. And I've done so many of those that, it's a saw that I'm always comfy building, and most of them run pretty good. I'm going to have to send that 850 to Bucket so that when the snow clears up there, he can do some, I can't wait, friends. When you get a saw that you want to ship, the weather's horrible for weeks, and that's what's been going on here. I can't wait for Bucket to try that 850. It's a nice saw. There you go, Charles Briscoe. There's a man that knows his power saws, keeps the velocity up, pulls out of the transfers. There you go. That's exactly what's going on. Yeah, friends, those pipes. And here's the thing. Not every pipe works, and sometimes you're going to spend all day welding. And in fact, watch this week. I made a pipe video kind of discussing all this because I thought, well, there it is. There were so many questions about pipes that I made another video on it. So stay tuned for that this week. I just built a tuned pipe for a home light, and first fire, it was dead rich. It's pretty zingy now. Yeah. That's been my experience. A pipe that doesn't work usually makes the saw lean. A pipe that does work makes the saw rich, which is contrary to every muffler mod I've ever done. Most muffler mods I do make the saw lean, and you gotta squeak her back a little bit. So interesting, isn't it? These power saws. You never know. You never know what they're gonna do. That's why, friends, I don't spend a lot of time watching YouTube all the time. Like I'm so busy experiencing things for myself that, get out there in your shop and start trying some of these things and try your own things. And often you're just going to gain that knowledge for yourself. And it's like, that's what I try and do. If I can help you guys work on this stuff, I'm going to do it every time because, it's fun. And not everything's going to work, but often you find things that, that do work by accident. Thank you, Buckin. You're a good fella. Gonna have to get that 850 out to you. Maybe if it doesn't warm up this week, friends, I'm bringing my saw buck in here, and we're just going to have to test that saw in the shop. I'll double plug, and it's going to have to be done because we got saws to work on. trying to think. What was I going to say to you, friends? Oh, I had a lot of people asking about this. I got to go further into this saw. I gotta strip the gas tank and pull the filter out. This thing, I get the carb clean, and then it just I think there's rust in the felt in there. So, I got to reach out to some folks. I know there's a way to get rid of that felt. So, and I don't know. So, I'll have to reach out to some folks and see what the way is to do that. Maybe we'll make a video out of that. Because I don't know why. I've owned a lot of power saws. I've worked on them. This 171, just, I don't know. Something about these. They're chrome and yellow, and just they're gorgeous. I want to pinstripe this and just make it look Psychobilly Cadillac. This thing's awesome. This is like probably the coolest saw I've ever bought. Yeah, we got so many projects to do. It's great. It's fun just hanging out in the shop, turning the camera on. I love it. Yeah, Buckin, isn't that a nice saw? Like, I've never put it in the wood, but I've run it enough times, but it's those, a lot of people that know me laugh. I like old things. I'm always the guy that's 4 generations behind. And I mean, look at that thing. The amount of craftsmanship, the body panels that go around the engine, it's a single stamping. Like, that's craftsmanship. And those old timers knew what they were doing. It's always like, look at an old airplane. Look at the seats. There's 473 rivets in the seat of an old, like, World War II bomber. Think of the skill and craftsmanship that went into making one seat for an airplane back in the day. I don't know. I've always been fascinated by stuff like that. Craftsmanship and mechanics. Yeah, Buckin, it's like a 55 Chevy truck. My uncle has a 55 Chevy. It's just, they just don't make stuff like they used to. I'll say it. Yeah, Curtis Baker, Metal Flake. Oh yeah, I like me some Metal Flake. Hey Tin Man, how's it going? I'm doing a 3/4 on the high jet on my 266 with a 272 top end and still think it's a bit rich. Can that be caused by a pipe? No, you know what? I'll never say no to anything. Generally, that's not a pipe. Tillotson carburetors. Let's see if I got one here. Just give me a second here, friends. I got stuff right here. Here. Just give me a second. That's why I love doing lives, because we can... What do we got here? Right here. Okay. I want to make sure you can see this. Okay. This is a Tillotson HS carb. Doesn't matter the model. This is the carb that was the carb of the day. From the 1970s to early 90s, this carb was on darn near every saw at one time or another. Now, I find these carbs are very sensitive to metering lever height. This is your metering lever. I hope you guys can see this. Get you a little closer, okay? Now, typically when a saw is rich, your metering lever is too high, okay? So what you want to do is stick your finger on it and push it down. Just a hair. Maybe the thickness of the metering lever itself, okay? It should be level with this metering chamber, okay? And typically that's what I see in those saws. When they're too rich, this is set up incorrectly. Somebody's put a carb kit in there and it can be literally the width of the metering lever too high. So that's probably your problem 9 out of 10 times. Okay. And yes, tune in the wood. Every saw every saw that I run on the channel, it'll be rich till it's in the wood, and then I will slowly squeak it as I'm cutting a lot of times, and you'll feel it when it gets just to the point where it's not pulling as hard anymore, or maybe just before that, and then I'll just go like this and pull it up. If it doesn't 4-stroke right away, it's typically too lean for me. I don't. Most of the saws I build, I don't run them super lean. Maybe even a tad rich sometimes, but yeah, tuning in the wood is always a good deal. Steve Small Engine Saloon. One of these days, all of us are going to be. One of these days, I'm heading out to the island. It's been on my bucket list my whole life. I've never been past Calgary. I saw mountains. I think you guys call those mountains in the distance, and I was like, "Wow, why is the earth so tall over there? I must see this." So, I think we're gonna have to throw a camper in the back of the Wood Weasel and go walkabout. Hi, Tin Man from East Leroy, Michigan. How's it going, Hillbilly? Thanks for stopping by. This is fun. Just checking to see what we got here. Anybody else have any questions? That's what I love doing this. I find I'm getting to the point in my YouTubing. I'm having a hard time keeping up with the emails. I still twice a day, friends, every day I go through the emails, but I like doing lives because it's feedback, and we can bounce ideas off of each other. But yeah, if you guys have any comments, please hit me up with them while we're live. I like doing them live because I can grab stuff. For me, I find it really hard to answer most questions typing because it's easier to show a metering lever. Gainsey, thank you, buddy. Says nothing, just drops in. Sends a super chat. Thank you, buddy. Hey, Rugged Timber. How's it going? For a coffee at Tim's. Thank you, buddy. I hit Tim's almost daily. No, we're not sponsored by Tim's. It's just the Canadian way. Would an air leak cause symptoms like the timing is off? Maybe. Typically, Steve Small Engine Saloon would be a really good guy to ask that to, but typically an air leak, signs of an air leak, the saw is hard to tune or unresponsive or slow to respond on the carburetor. By the time you get it to settle down, it's so rich that it wants to stall, doesn't return to idle. Overspeeding in the cut and out of the cut, meaning it's just racing high. Typically, timing issues are more of a backfire, hard to start. A saw with an air leak can be impossible to start too. I put my 372 together the other day. Ported, base gasket, delete, pop-up piston. Haven't fired it yet, but I checked the compression. I have only 60 PSI. Aaron, one thing about compression testers, make sure you have a good one, and make sure it's the one. A regular compression tester will always give you low compression. Most saws, before you run them, friends, you guys, okay, look, go back in the videos of this saw. Every time I run it, it pops better. You guys hear that? Okay. This saw is broken in now. The first time I ran this saw, it had very, very light compression. So friends, honestly, I rarely compression test anything. It either has good compression or it don't. Pop. I typically, if I'm going to check compression, it's going to be after 5 or 6 tanks and the saw's broken. And I don't ever do it when the saw's first put together. I wouldn't even worry about it. If it runs, run it and run a tank or two through it and then do a piston inspection. Sometimes rings won't seat, especially hard rings. If you have a caber ring in a highway cylinder, the Those highway tight nickel cylinders, you have hard plating and a hard ring. It takes a long time for them to break in. Aaron Powell, you reckon a pipe would work well on straddle saws? Aaron, we're going to find that out very soon. Stay tuned. I've been working on something. Most of the straddle saws that I own, they run too hot in the summer. So the question is, can we pull that heat out with a pipe? Woodchuck man, thanks for all the information you share. Thank you, buddy. I try. I don't know everything. I'm learning every day, friends. You guys are helping me all the time. Tin Man, what's the difference between highway normal versus Titan nickel? Do you guys want to see normal versus Titan nickel? Would you guys be interested in that? Basically, it's just the coating on the cylinder. They're both nice cylinders. I use both of them. The Titan nickel's probably going to last longer once it's broken in. From what I've seen, I haven't used enough of them to say yay or nay. But Titan nickel's a harder coating. Just catching up here, friends. Donnie Walker, come out, Tin Man. Yeah, Donnie, one day it's going to be a great video. Tin Man goes to his Graceland, Walker Saw Shop. Mrs. Tin Man, you better come there with me to make sure I don't buy up half the island. That's, friends, that is chainsaw heaven. I think I missed some super chats here. Joe Ray to sit down and port. I love it. You know, friends, I usually port standing up, believe it or not. I don't know what it is. I like to stand while I'm working. I've been sitting at this bench because I found standing at the bench all day, for a whole day, day after day, is bad for the back. But I like to stand when I'm porting. I know it's horrible. It's hard to control the pedal, but yeah, it's funny. Steve Small Edged salute. Thank you, Steve. I'm not even reading that because no. Steve, I know where there's a really nice 298. Maybe one day I'll get it off my buddy. That's all I'm going to say about that. The sprocket on my saw is a 3/8/7/2. What's the 2? I don't know what the 2 is. Donnie Walker, what's the 2 after 3/8/7 on a rim sprocket? Donnie Walker will know that. Donnie Walker knows a lot of stuff, guys. Oh, they have Tim Hortons in New York? I did not know this. We are taking over. Canadian coffee is taking over, eh? So one thing I found strange, and this was 20 years ago when I used to travel in the States, I found there wasn't a lot of coffee to be had in certain areas of the States. I thought people drink coffee everywhere, but maybe not. I'm drinking coffee right now. I am drinking Tim Hortons French vanilla blend today. Half sugar, little bit of cream. It's good. What are your thoughts on a 3120? Keith, I got asked that twice today. 3120. What would I do? I don't know. I've never ported a 3120. I've run one. Have I run a 3120? I think I have. I know that those are big saws. You don't want a lot of RPM out of them. At least I don't think, unless you're building a hot saw. I know the carbs are typically fixed high jet. I know guys have those carbs drilled for a second jet. Other than that, I don't know. I know those are held back by the carb and the ignition, but I don't have any experience on modifying them. Just catching up. Found a 2100 with a bad coil. Have you repaired the coils? I'm gonna do that soon. I know some coils you can put in the oven at like, I think it's about 200. Okay, and you can actually make them work again. I have a couple of home lights here. One of them's my dad's, and it has that Presto light coil, the blue ones, and it doesn't work anymore. So I need to try that because I've never done it. But apparently you can put those in the oven and cook them. Hey friends, I'm way behind. I'm just getting caught up here. Tim Lindert, I want to see you get the 590 finish so you start mine. Tim, I want to finish the 592, buddy. Sometimes you run into a bauble with a saw. That was the saw to do it. I thought that saw was going to be easy cheesy, and look, you never know what a saw is going to do till it's ported unless you've done 10, 12 of them. And me, I'm so scatterbrained. I'm always going here and there and everywhere. I like to be that way, though. Donnie Walker says he thinks it stands for segments. There you go. Donnie Walker. It's pretty, friends, I remember 5-6 years ago, I've told this story before, but I'm at the woodpile and my buddy fires up this super nice sounding 372. Like that saw sounded crisp. He fired it up and he's letting it warm up and it's pop, 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 pop. It's got a really nice dual port muffler on it. And he says, you ever run a ported saw? I said, no. So he handed it to me. And I remember I made a few cuts, 28-inch buried in oak. Made 2-3 cuts with it. And I was just like, wow. And then he just pointed and it said Walkerized. And I went, oh. And here I am. And that's the truth, friends. Without Walker's Saw Shop, there would be no Tin Man. Isn't that funny how the world works? Easy cheesy never happens. Ain't that the truth? It's funny. You get a saw that you think's going to be easy and it turns out to be hard. You get a saw that you think's going to be hard and it turns out to be easy. When I did that 461, I wasn't too sure. It's got those fancy modern transfers that wrap around. That 461 was probably one of the easiest saws I've ever done, just in terms of the amount of work I had to do to it to get it to really wake up. I would say the hardest saws to port are the home lights. Home lights and Max. Max are they're difficult to get in there, but they're just different. Everything about a Mac is different. Home lights don't leave you a lot of room for error. Nice plug, hey Donnie. It's true, friends. I have heard. I live in Manitoba. I am thousands of kilometers in the center of the country from these nice folks in Nanaimo and on the island. I have heard the name Walkers here. Everybody that I've known in this country that logs runs a Walkerized power saw, and I hear nothing but good things about the Walkers. They treat their customers good, and Donnie Walker and his dad Bob, they build good logging saws and they last and they're reliable. So from the day I started porting, I wanted to build good, reliable work saws, and I calls it like I sees it. Sorry. Oh, I was just gonna say, I got my reading glasses on me. I left them on the counter in the house. Oops. I'm at that age where my eyes are deciding not to work anymore, so I have to wear them reading glasses, but I have not worked them into my day-to-day. Is it worth putting much into a banged around corroded 61? Apart from crank seals, cases are pretty ordinary. It's all there but corrosion. I don't know, Bolt Beard. If those saws aren't common and you want to play around, why not? I've I've rebuilt some pretty ugly saws on this channel, and they all run. Uh, if the cases are corroded inside, take them apart, hit them up with a wire wheel, glue them back together. I mean, as long as none of your sealing surfaces are totally smoked, why not? Well, supper time. Thanks for stopping by, Donnie. I like that Donnie Walker, friends. He's a good fella. He knows it. Like I said, I feel blessed that I can, if I got a problem or I want to talk saws, I can message Donnie Walker and he knows stuff. I feel blessed, friends, to be a power saw nut that has been accepted into this community. I love doing this, and nothing makes me happier than, ripping a saw down and making it go fast. Hey, Jason Mercer. How's it going, buddy? Jason's been a good friend of this channel. People like him, people like Jason really behind the scenes help this channel out, and I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done. Yes, big shout out to Mrs. Tin Man. Behind every good man, there's an even better woman. Right there, Mrs. Tin Man. How's it going, hun? Hey, Justin Weaver. How's it going, buddy? Justin's been on this channel for a long, long time. Tasman hit 1,000 subs the other day there. Hillbilly RV. Tin Man, thank you for everything you do. So enjoyable watching your videos. Thanks, Hillbilly. I enjoy making them. YouTube has completely changed my outlook on life. Just personally, you guys are good folks out there, and it's nice. It's nice. The kind words lifts a fella up. When it's first thing in the morning, you get a nice email, that sets your whole day. It's thank you. Oh, Sagebrush Hillbilly's in here. Sagebrush Hillbilly got his first. He got a 181, and it looks pretty nice with a 288 top end. That's his first big boy saw. I can't wait for him to put that in the wood. You guys, any of you guys that have never run a big saw, or you just did for the first time, like big saws are no joke. Take a shot outdoors. Hey, buddy. Nova Scotia. I'd like to go to Nova Scotia. Love my 181 SE. Yeah, that 181 that TK sent us, that saw is such a sweet runner. Like, I don't even want to port it. It starts, runs, idles, pulls a 32 nicely all day long. It's not too heavy. Husqvarna definitely, Still's made some good saws too. So has Dolmar. But Husqvarna has made a lot of good saws when you go back, especially starting in the late 70s through the 80s into the 90s. Like, Husqvarna had a good run. There you go, Mrs. Tin Man. When's your gardening channel starting? Friends, Mrs. Tin Man is a serious gardener. Tomato plants, like, she's got skills. Me, not so much, but yeah, Mrs. Tin Man is definitely a very good gardener. Did those 181s ever come with outer falling spikes? Yeah, there you go, like that. Aftermarket makes those. If you go on eBay and just type in 288 falling spike, somebody's making a copy of those. I think they're offshore. They're cheap. Jay Witcher from Germany. How's it going, buddy? 1 a.m. Lots of Germans around this area where I live. I like the Germans. They're very ingenious. Some of the contraptions you see around here, friends, on farms and that the Germans have built. Wow. Uh, yeah, I like the Germans. The originals had 3 points. Oh, I don't know. Every 288 or every 181 I have, I think I have three of them here. All have those spikes on them. Three points, eh? Hey, Sagebrush, you got to port that 266, buddy. Blue coil trick works. I didn't have a toaster oven. I removed the pole starter and sat it in front of a 5,000 watt heater for an hour or two. It worked. There you go, Robert Atkinson. Atchison. Yeah, I need my reading glasses. There you go. I'm gonna try that. When I do, I'll make a video of it and we'll find out. I don't think it fixes all of them, but from what I read, it fixes most of them. The cranberry guys in my area have all kinds of cool contraptions they build. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Um, in this area, it's all farmers, right? There's not a lot of guys like me that just live on land and don't farm. Farmers are the most ingenious people. The typical farmer around here, he's a businessman, a truck driver, a gardener, a welder. He has a fab shop. Like farmers out here, if something's broken, they just fix it, whether it's wiring or. That's why, in times of crisis in an area like this, there's so many people that have so many skills that the work just gets done. Even in a bad snowstorm, we've had storms where there's literally this much snow on the road, like it's higher than your bumper, and farmers just fire up their biggest machine, and next thing you know, the roads are cleared. It's good times. Agritech Equipment Sales LLC. Ever seen an Olympic 993F? I have one that needs crank seals and bearings. I had a 999F. That should be the same saw. Agritech, go in my playlist. I did a 999 Olympic on this channel, and I believe I listed the crank seal sizes, and I know they were 6203 C3 bearings. I sourced aftermarket crank seals for that, and I believe I listed them in the video. Check that playlist. That was a while ago. That was one of the first saws I ever took apart on YouTube. This hair, yeah. I always cut my hair when it's cold, and then it's shaggy when it's hot. I don't know how that works. Yeah, Agritech. If it's not in the playlist, like what those videos are like 5 minutes long. I think there's 3 or 4 of them. If it's not in the playlist, send me an email and I'll do some digging. I could probably find you those part numbers. They were easily sourced at a bearing supplier. If you bring them the seal sizes are metric and they were stamped on the seals. I just popped those out, brought them to a bearing house, and the one seal was 1 thou undersized. I glued it in with Moto Seal. That saw's been on a mill and mills. I don't know how many days a year. My buddy that has it mills steady, and that saw's still running good. So, what? Who's talking about a 2100? Oh, Josh Madsen. Got any advice? I've never even touched a 2100 here, Josh. I would love to have one. I know those saws poured up real nice. Don't put the exhaust roof too high. It's probably my only advice. Probably below 98. Where can I find Sachs Dolmar 111 brake and cylinder? eBay, maybe. Sachs Dolmar parts are getting pretty hard to find. Maybe eBay is the only thing I can think of. Yeah, 2100s are amazing for bucking, is what I always hear. Anybody I've ever talked to that logged when those were new, everybody had one because 2100s were just beasts. Thanks, Ryan. That's awesome. Life's a garden. Dig it. Billy from Philly, another guy that's been on this channel forever. I have 3/4 of a 2100. Need a flywheel left-hand nut for the crank. Yeah, that's the other thing about 2100s. A couple buddies that I know, they're trying to build them. I know parts are getting pretty hard to find. Not because they didn't make a lot of them, because those things ran and ran and ran, and guys logged with them year after year. That eventually, when a saw went down, it was so used up apparently that they're just flat worn out. I got 3 for parts. Yeah, that's the key. Keep buying more of the same saw until you have all the parts you need. $590s right here. I was working on it today. As soon as I figure out what's up with that, you guys will know. I promise you. It's not that I forgot about that saw. I needed to stop, gather all the data of everything I've done to it, and then reconvene. I also spoke with some people that know things, and cross your fingers. The thing is, when you're porting, if you port a saw and it runs worse, and you're not sure why, you got to stop and then really think about, study the motor. I understand what they did now, I think, and I'm gonna do some go fast moves to lower the case pressure. I think I over pressured the case in that saw. Yeah, Sagebrush is just commenting. I use Opti2 two-stroke at 45 to 1. Here, this stuff, guys. You can get it on Amazon. I'm not in any way affiliated with Opti. I don't do the whole oil argument. I just had an interesting conversation with my buddy the other day about oils. I've run all kinds of different oils. I started running this. I started looking inside saws that had been run on this for 20 years, and I was actually very impressed with what I saw. I noticed, I just noticed that saws that were run on this tended to have very little wear on them and little to no carbon. And my buddy's been running this for, what did he say, 25 years? And so that's what I run, 45 to 1. I've run it as high as 60 to 1, as low as 32 to 1. 50 to 1's fine with it. And that's what I run in everything. Hey, the two-stroke rebuilder. How's it going, buddy? Yeah, it's getting cold in here. Yeah, AMSOIL's good. You know what? Any oil is good if you run your saw with a sharp chain, tuned properly, and run it hot. The problem is with a lot of homeowner saws, and you guys that fix saws, you probably noticed too, that my experience has been homeowners tend to fire up their saw, cut a couple branches, and then, it sits for a while. And that's just the type of use that a homeowner saw gets used for. I find that they don't get hot enough and they don't burn the carbon out. And that's where you start getting carbon in the exhaust port. I just did a video yesterday, again this week. Watch, I take a saw apart and I'll show you carboning and damage. So yeah, I just get your saws warm them up properly, make sure they're sharp. This is just what I use. I'm not saying it's the best oil. I've had good luck with it. I've been using it for, I don't know, many years now. It's good stuff. It's clean. Show in videos what repair tools you use. Sure, that's actually a good idea. I should do a video of basic hand for repairing saws. There's not much, friends. Like if you know, if you're starting to work on saws, there's not a lot of specialty tools that you absolutely need. You need a case splitter. I'll do a video on that. That's a good idea. Yeah, Maxima's good oil. See that's the thing. I don't really talk oils on my channel, friends, and I get asked oils all the time because it turns into often oil conversations turn into an argument or there a lot of these oils are similar. They have similar properties. If you look at the specs on them, they work. I'm more inclined to think a lot of sauce failures happen because of heat and neglect and dull chains versus oil. Oil was a thing in the 50s and 60s. I think we've gone far enough in oils that, you know, you guys know what I'm saying. Yes, brand loyalty. I'm not super loyal to any one brand. You guys see how scattered I am with saws. Every manufacturer makes something that's good. Whether it's chainsaws, trucks, TVs, whatever, boots, whatever. Every company has a good run of something, and then maybe they have a bad run of something. Yeah, you guys are funny. I vote for Sabre. Yeah, that's why I I don't I like us in the community. I want us all to be like this. I don't get involved in all that kind of stuff. Basically, my idea on this channel is to be the positive saw builder. I only see positivity. Buckin says that all the time. I'm the same way. I see positive comments. I don't give any notice to the negativity. And negativity's everywhere, friends. It's on every channel. It's everywhere. But me, I just choose to be positive. Why? Because I want to be, you know? And there's a lot of good saw builders out there. There is a lot of them. Many, many, many guys reporting power saws on YouTube now. And I think that's great. And everybody, I watch other channels. I'd pop in or I'll hear about a channel, a buddy will tell me, I'll pop in. I find it interesting that people do things differently than I do. And I watch them and I go, hey, that's kind of neat. I never thought of that. I don't tend to go, that's wrong, because the minute the guy shows a saw running and it's murder and wood, I go, that's a pretty good saw right there. Don't matter how he came about it. Everybody does different moves. I mean, think about it. We're taking a Dremel or a Fordham and we're grinding by hand. No two hands are going to make the same shapes. Every porter's porting will be different than the next porter, even with the same numbers. The Poulin Pro 395, which is really a Poulin Pro 4000 in yellow with a chain brake. Have you ever ported either of those? No, never even seen either of those. I have. What have I had? I have a Poulin 5200 counter vibe, which you guys want to see again. Again, a lot of my projects have been put aside. I might pull that out. That saw needs anti-vibe mounts really bad. They are completely, the back ones are detached. So when you put a long bar on that and put it in the wood, it throttles up. I've had a Poulin, what else did I have? A 3200 counter vibe and a 3600 counter vibe. They're good saws. They really are. Just catching up. I used to run VP oil in bikes. Poulin 4000 counter vibe. Yeah, that would make sense because my 3600 or 3700 counter vibe was one of those Canadian. The red saws was 60 cc's. It's a good running saw. Hey, Buckin's back. Hey, Buckin, those Poulin counter vibes are good running saws, aren't they? We're going to have to port my 5200 one of these days. Homelight MP88 concrete saw. Is it possible to convert that to a chainsaw? My stopping point is no oil gallery behind the bar. Can I drill the case? That's a good question, Derek. Without having it here, I'm sure you can drill the case, whether you can fit an oil pump. Most of those concrete conversions, and I know some people go, why would you do that? Why not? It's fun. It's kind of fun to have a Psychobilly Cadillac concrete saw that you built into a chainsaw. I get it. Um, yeah, if you can fit an oil pump and figure out a way to get a line in there, why not? That would be cool. If I had more time, I would definitely do some wacky builds like that. It's they're fun, right? I almost bought one of those concrete saws here. I saw it in a classified ad. Maybe I'll grab one of these days just to have a look-see. Yeah, friends. Here, I'm going to grab... I want to show you guys something at the end of this here feed. I want to show you guys something. I know you guys are super interested in the Echo. Okay. Can you guys see that? This is the Echo cylinder. Notice how small. Typically, your primary's here and your secondary's here. Look how small that is. You guys see that? Okay. So I was horsing around with the Echo today, and what I think is actually going on is I'm going to have to raise these transfers here, okay? Up. Why? I am over-pressurizing the bottom end of the case. This saw has 26 degrees of blowdown now. I did not change the intake timing. Exhaust is at a nice pedestrian 104, okay? But I have 26 degrees of blowdown. I think what's actually happening is I'm not releasing the pressure, and that's why this saw is really rich. If you guys go back in the videos, it's really rich and spitting back through the carburetor. And I think that's what's going on. So those of you that are interested in this project, I pulled it back apart today. And hopefully, I think I'm going to attempt to modify that carburetor too. Let's see, where are we here? Pour oil on the bar and go. Yes. Like a hot saw. Hey, Roddy, I've been thinking about that. I got a 500cc Polaris sitting here in the yard. It was dumped off here about 8 years ago. The guy that dumped it off here doesn't know who owns it. It's a long story. I'm sure I'm man enough to pick that thing up. 500cc hot saw. Oh, and it's air cooled, that would eliminate. I was thinking liquid cooled and liquid cooled would be fun, but I'm thinking an air cooled 500cc hot saw might be fun. Need to find a harvester bar and some 404 chain, but hey, Neil Curtis, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Hey, I'm supposed to ask, how many people do we have here? It's funny, my device here never, ever tells me how many are here. It says I have 10. And even if we have 10, that's fine. 2.0 Eager Beaver. I think I got one of those at the top. Wow. 201 people to come and see. Guys, gals. I can't believe. You guys are just awesome. Any thoughts on a John Thread 90 build? Yeah, why not? Vintage power saws are cool. A lot of these old saws, you know what, friends? As I meander in my power saw journey, this is fun. Okay, these are fun, these new saws, but you know what? I'm a hot rodder. I like old power saws. I pretty much prefer to do the old stuff nowadays. The older, the better. I don't know. Fuel injection and turbos are cool, but something's really cool about a big block that's carbureted with zoomies on it, making 800 horsepower. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but hey, is Lisa Shear here? Hello, Lisa Shear. Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about that stuff. It's just like motorcycles. Um, I've been looking for a shovel head for quite a few years. I like old Harleys. Are they hard to live with? Yes, they can be. I've had them before, but they're so cool. When you're riding down the road on your old Harley, with a 4-speed kickstart only, that's good stuff. I mean, no modern bike that I've owned ever has the soul of the old bikes I've owned. Old stuff has soul, like an old truck. Um, I kind of, it's funny. I am digging that 6.5 turbo diesel. I love that truck. I still kind of want an older truck. Um, that 6.5's cool. That's the era that I grew up in when I got my license and that. Because I'm almost 40, and I look back at those trucks, and those were the trucks that were new when So that's kind of, I like the older stuff, carburetors, 80s, 70s, the stuff that was around when I got my license. What do we got going on here? Yeah, a lot of the counter vibes here have a chain brake for sure. I lost my internet again here, friends. Hold on, friends. Technical difficulties. Are we still on? Are we still on? Tin Man, when are you going to port that P61? One of these days. There we go. We're back online. This internet's working pretty good, but it's definitely a little temperamental when it's cold out. Hold on, friends. Technical difficulties. No pressure, eh? It's hard being your own Wi-Fi guy when you don't know anything about Wi-Fi. I've never had Wi-Fi. This is my first Wi-Fi experience. We have no fi here. No cell service. No, we got dirt roads. There we go. No, Bucking, my watching device keeps dropping the feed. Yeah, so I film with my new phone. This is an old phone, and it's a little persnickety sometimes. It'll drop the Wi-Fi. This one seems to be rock solid. Let's see if we can get this thing rocking and rolling again. Waiting. Everything's slow out here, friends. Oh, I dropped it again. This might be the end of our live feed, friends. Oh, I love it. I don't. Oh, I do. Whatever. What is that saying? Oh, well. I'm learning that. I am learning as I get older to say, oh, well, I can't do anything about that. So therefore, I'm going to change my brain to think about something that I can do. I'm learning. We're all learning. Let's make each other better this year, all of us. That's what I want for this year, for all of us as a community. Let's make each other better. Let's help each other out. And let's all learn to say, oh, well, because oh, well's a thing. There we go. Hey, we're back. 200 thumbs up for Tin Man. That would be a lot. So, Jason Mercer, P61, I got to drill and tap that case. You were asking about that. I got to do something. One of the recoil bolts is bent and wallowed out. I can't even Healy coil it. So I think what I'm going to do when it gets warmer out, I'm going to fire up my lathe and I'm going to drill out a hole and I'm going to make a custom insert that I can JB weld into the fuel tank, and then I will drill and tap a new hole. The problem is with that saw is so big and nasty. When you pull it over, the recoil, it needs all the bolts for the recoil, and the fuel leaks through that hole. So when I run it and tip her over on her side, the gas just, first time I experienced that, I was gonna go, I was doing my face cut at a tree, just trying the saw out, and then my leg was wet, and I looked down, and it was leaking through the hole. Yeah, friends, we are dropping the YouTube connection. Like it's 100 thumbs up. That's pretty. I can't believe that 100 and something people come here to hang out with the Tin Man. It's, oh, I just can't believe it. Good, friends. Well, I'm dropping my my connection to the comments. I'm back here again. Okay, we're back. Oh, that's good, Barry Reynolds. Starting to give away some of my saws to people that don't have 25 saws like I do. You know, Barry, I met a fella, and I've probably told this story before, on a Kijiji classified ad. I needed a cylinder for my only chainsaw was an 026. I drove to this fella's house. He said, bring the saw. I want to look at it before I sell you parts. Not only did he not sell me a bunch of parts, we rebuilt my saw together and it was running. A lot of the early saws on this channel come from that fella. He's like, you like saws? I go, yeah, a lot. Here, I bought this to rebuild years ago. Here, buy, take this or I'll sell this to you and rebuild it and try it. And I think that's what we got to do a lot of times is, those new guys that are coming in that are really interested, it's nice to pass saws along to them sometimes. So good for you, man. How many saws does one man need? I have 5 saws and still want another. Yeah, well, 5 saws. I mean, you got to have at least 2 of each size you run. And I mean, really 2 plus a backup, that's 3. So what, we're talking 12 saws right there. And then, I mean, you need a top handle. So there's 30. I mean, yeah. There we go. It's funny. There we go. One of my favorite channels, Building 562. I love my 562. I built that as a joke. It was my buddy bought like 10 blown up 576s from a municipality here. And we were looking at all these blown up new saws going, what happened to chainsaws? So I bought this 562 to rebuild it just to prove to myself that I didn't like them. And I still have it like 4 or 5 years later. I love that 562. I run saws based on feel and the job I'm doing, but I mean, I run saws based on what kind of mood I'm in. I never know what I'm going to grab. Some days I want a still, some days I want a husky. I mean, would love to see a Tin Man Ice 361. I don't know if a 361 comes my way, if I find one locally to rebuild or something, I would do a 361. Why not? 60cc saws are for most fellas or ladies that live in areas like I do where there's not giant wood everywhere. 60cc saw ported would be more saw than 65cc saws are what I typically run. Well, friends, it's getting cold in here, and if I put another log in the fire, we're going to be here till 4 a.m. So thank you to everybody that hangs out here. I really appreciate you guys. I've met so many awesome people. I've made so many good friends. And let's all have a great week. Onward and upward this week. Let's make each other better. And remember, oh well. What more can I say? I'm just having a great time. Take her easy, everybody. Thanks for watching. Keep her in between the rhubarbs. Later.